Monday afternoon at St. John's Playhouse here, Movin' 99.7, Gay Pride Weekend in the books, and this guy absolutely tore it up yesterday at the Regency, David Guetta. Welcome to Movin' 99.7.
Thank you very much.
Man, all I have to say is I've been a fan for, well, since 2002.
Oh, wow. Early fan.
An early fan, but a lot of folks know you recently because you've got the big single with Kelly Rowland right now, When Love Takes Over.
When Love Takes Over.
Now, for folks who don't know, you started producing around 2000, 2001?
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Does it go further back than that?
Actually, I made a first record very long time ago, like a much more underground record. But my first real success was 2001, yeah.
So what was it that got you into electronic music?
Oh, that forever. Actually, it's funny because it's Gay Pride Weekend, and what actually happened is I always wanted to be a DJ since I was a kid, and I was like DJing in my bedroom when I was coming back from school every day, practicing and everything. And the first job I got was in a gay club, and it was just before house music. And then when house music started here in America and then in England, it was starting in the gay clubs. And because I was in that place, I got so excited. And I'm like, I spoke to the owner. I'm like, we need to go into that direction. I want to do that party. And this is how I got into house music. And I was, I think, the first DJ to play that music in France.
Wow. So we can say that you're pretty much responsible for house music for the whole French house sound? Or
I wouldn't say.
Is that going a little overboard? Or
I wouldn't say that, but it was like, yeah, we're a few ones that started this. And it's really extraordinary to see what it became, because from that underground scene to the huge pop music scene that it is today in Europe, because it's not as big in America as it is in Europe yet, but it's coming. And
it's interesting because it all started here in places like New York and Chicago and Detroit.
Absolutely. It's all coming from America, but then I don't know what happened. Somebody fell asleep or something, and it's just that for many years, the American perception of that music was very much like that underground scene or gay scene or drug scene, rave stuff, and
all of which is fun.
No, this is all fun. I have no problem with this, but I'm saying that I think that music deserves more than this. And today, in Europe, it's as big as hip hop or pop or rock. You know,
for folks who've never been to Europe, you can literally go to a city like Amsterdam or London and turn on the radio and hear trance records just like you'd hear Beyonce or something like that.
In France, the #2 national radio is dance format.
It's not quite that way here, obviously, because I think part of it is just hip-hop became so big in the early 90s and just became this juggernaut or whatever you want to call it, where dance music was its own little genre, and it was...
But you know what is really exciting right now, and this is what I'm doing, is that we're kind of doing the best of both worlds. And I was waiting for you, and I was listening to your radio, and you were playing I Got a Feeling from the Black Eyed Peas, and you might know or not know, but I produced that record.
And I was going to get to that because there was initially some confusion, because I was like, oh yeah, David Guetta is a remix on that, right? And no, it's actually, you actually produced the I Got a Feeling
I produced the original track, and the idea right now that Will came to me, and at the same time, it was like almost the same moment when I met with Kelly Rowland and we recorded When Love Takes Over, and I was like, that's it, that's the direction. And we were calling this Electro-Hop, that mix between electronic European culture and American urban culture. And I think this is really exciting, and this is what my album is all about, and it's coming out at the end of August, and I'm really excited to see the reaction, because I think this is going to be a huge wave.
Okay, so you've been working with folks like Kelly Rowland and the Black Eyed Peas, so I'm assuming that there's a roster of big names on the rest of the album. Who else are you working with?
On the album, I have Kid Cudi, I have Estelle, I have Akon, Neo. It's pretty incredible. Chris Willis, of course, because he's the guy that was singing on Love Is Gone, and we have a huge track together on the album also. So it's really exciting to try to combine all those different cultures and background to create new music, you know, music of tomorrow.
Why do you think now is the time that hip hop and electronic music are kind of getting remarried?
Well, from what I heard from lots of those artists, and I still have lots of big guys calling me to produce tracks for their albums, everybody's feeling a little bit tired of, you know, it's like a circle a little bit, like they're trying to start with a new sound. And it's the same for me. It's my fourth album, and I needed a new direction. And that first week when I started to work with Kelly, and she brought Neo to the studio. This guy, by the way, is an absolute genius. It was unbelievable. This guy in front of me, he loved so much When Love Takes Over. He was like, oh, this is fantastic. And he came to the studio just to hear it. And then he's like, do you have another beat? And it was the beginning of my album. I'm like, I have nothing really. I have this session that's not even finished. It was from my laptop. I worked on it on the plane. And he's like, play it. So I'm playing it. In front of me, it's an 8-minute version. He wrote the whole song in 8 minutes. Like, when the song was finished, like, okay, turn on the mic, I'm ready. I'm like, what? And it's a huge song. So working with people like this, you know, like him, like Kelly, like Will.I.Am, it's been a big inspiration for me. And I think at the same time, I was very shy at the beginning. And at the same time, I realized that I cannot do what they do, but they cannot do what I do. So it was very exciting.